In today's phone-in, we're tackling the subject of child grief, and we've had so many calls this morning.
Joining us to share his experience and offer advice to parents is Jeff Brazier, who's been raising his two sons on his own since the death of their mother, Jade Goody. It's lovely to have you here today as well.
Thanks for talking about it.
You are now a life coach, aren't you?
I've been a life coach for 3-4 years, and most of my clients are bereaved because I think they have seen how I've dealt with things publicly, and I guess they think, well, if anyone's going to understand me, it will be this guy. What you don't know is I'm currently writing a book, A Guide to Bereavement. So this will be released in the summer, and what I've done is encapsulate my own life experience of bereavement, but also many of the stories and really the lessons that I've learned through a lot of my clients. It's all invaluable to someone who's in that situation, and it will just be the guide, the practical step-by-step kind of guide that they need.
Big life change for you, big change in career, really.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I obviously still sort of keep both things going side by side, but in terms of a purpose, I love it. I absolutely enjoy every minute of helping people.
Well, let's see if you can help some people today. We're going to start with Julie on the line. Good morning to you, Julie.
Morning.
Good morning. Now, I'm sorry, Julie, you lost your husband last year, did you?
I did, yes.
OK, and your son was only 14 weeks at the time?
Yeah, that's correct.
OK, so what is it you want to speak about today?
Well, obviously, at the time when my husband died, my son was obviously too young to remember him and hasn't obviously grieved for him. So my question is, how do I deal with it once he's old enough and he's asking about his dad and where his dad is, and how I broach that subject with him?
OK.
Yeah, I mean, Julie, you must be so concerned about the fact that he has no memories. I lost my biological father that I didn't meet, so I kind of understand where this is going. And when he's older, it's not going to be about remembering because, as you know, that's sort of barely possible. It's going to be about learning. So in order to help your son learn about his father, there are lots of things that you can collate now, such as, you know, the obvious things, photos, videos. These things are going to be really important. And memories, ultimately, whilst they won't be his memories, the memories of yourself and those around are going to become very, very relevant because it's going to build a picture of who he is, where he's from. We all like to know. I mean, I suppose people that have both their parents take it for granted that they know exactly where they come from, who they are, who made them, and why they are the way they are. Your son will have 50% of that because he knows exactly who you are. He doesn't know who his father is. So what you can do is to condense your husband's memory into things like, you know, does he have items of jewellery, clothing, the aftershave that he wore, you know, the books that he read, the TV programmes that he liked, any of these things that will help your son to learn who he was and therefore partly who he is now as a person.
So don't throw everything away or don't give everything away to a charity shop. Keep some things back, knowing that that will paint the picture in the future.
Exactly that. Significant value of items and memories.
And the thing is also, because the son was only 14 weeks old, though it's a terrible trauma for Julie, the little boy will grow up and that will be life. That will be what it was. It's not a case of it being traumatic for him, because so long as you chat about Dad, you always talk about Dad, and he's always there.
Yeah, grief only really, when you start to really condense what grief is, it only attaches itself to what was experienced, whereas what wasn't experienced and what is the shame of what could have been, which is how I feel about my dad, is really more regret. A regret for what we could have had. So yes, not grief specifically, there will be shades of that, and again, that's down to interpretation, but more so regret of what could have been, and there'll be less regret the more memories that you save for him.
Well, lots of lovely advice there for you, Julie. Thank you for that call.